time do we have, Ellie? Good deal. Rick, it's been something. Here comes my... Get ready to... Welcome to this week's edition of Tiger Sports Nation. I'm Robert Sherman.
And I'm Rick Okazaki. This week's top story is without a doubt DePaul football's 35-30 win over the number 21 ranked Wittenberg. Wittenberg was a favorite to win the entire conference, but now has a record of 3-2 after losing to both DePaul and Wabash.
Turnovers and big plays defined the game after Wittenberg kicked a field goal on their first drive of the contest, but then 3 straight drives ended in a fumble and 2 interceptions. The lattermost of the 3 was a pick 6 thrown by Wittenberg quarterback Zach Jenkins and taken to the house by DePaul linebacker Tommy Gray.
The Tigers would not look back and would lead the rest of the game. The offense would get it going as Matt Hunt hit his younger brother Andy for a 60-yard strike, which was followed up by Amin Galley's touchdown plunge. Matt Hunt would find Andy Hunt for a score right before halftime, and DePaul would take 21-10 lead into the locker room.
Wittenberg was able to hang around in the second half and possess the ball with 2 minutes to go and trailing by 5. But a sack by defensive tackle Chris Hawk and an incomplete pass on 4th down stunted Wittenberg's comeback, and the signature win was solidified.
Matt Hunt finished 18-27 for 336 yards and 3 touchdowns. Andy Hunt, his younger brother, caught 9 passes for 207 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Jason Kirchhoff rushed for 50 yards on the ground.
The win marks the first time that the Tigers have been able to take a win over Wittenberg since 1989, and just the 3rd time in the series dating back to 1893. DePaul will host Allegheny College this week, and that was a big signature win for the DePaul Tigers. You can argue that there really hasn't been a bigger game for DePaul since, outside of a Monon Bell game, since the mid-2000s, even early 2000s, a big-time victory for the DePaul Tigers in that series, and they're going to try and carry that success forward. And don't look now, but with the team being 5-0 and with a weak schedule coming up, there is a serious potential to be 9-0 going into Monon Bell.
And you know what? Matt Hunt's been doing a great job on the ground and in the air, and he really deserved his NCAC Player of the Week.
Yeah, that's right. Matt Hunt was named NCAC Player of the Week. Coach Joe Fincham of Wittenberg described Matt Hunt as perhaps the most dangerous dual-threat quarterback in all of Division III football, and he was something sure to watch this past weekend. Moving on, men's soccer was able to find some success of their own as they scored late to top Hiram 1-0 this past Saturday, and Wittenberg 3-2 last night.
Mitch Rivas scored the game-winning goal last night in the 97th minute. Adrian Abel scored in the 73rd minute to force extra time. Jonathan Wheeler also scored for DePaul, who moved to 9-1-2 on the year. Chris
Yount notched another win as goalkeeper for the Tigers. Yount has only surrendered 10 goals this season and is allowing just 0.85 goals per contest. Zach Hoffman is still the team's leading goal scorer with 6 goals. Julian Gonzalez has 5 to his name. Adrian Abels has 4, and E.J. Moore has 3. Men's soccer will travel to Worcester this Saturday to meet the Fighting Scots at noon. And DePaul soccer coming off a couple of big victories. They've been an interesting team to watch this year. Their only loss came at home against Rose-Hulman, but then they had 2 monstrous victories, one over Loras College, who was at the time top 10 team in the country, and one on the road at Kenyon College, ranked number 1 in the entire nation. They've done some pretty impressive things, and it'll be exciting to see what they're able to do down the road.
And as you mentioned, beating Loras College and Kenyon College was huge for the DePaul Tigers. We're going to look to see if they can make a run in the playoffs this year.
They're going to take on Ohio Wesleyan upcoming this next week, and that'll be one of their big final challenges left. We'll see what they'll be able to do.
And next up, women's soccer advanced to 7-5 with 1 tie after they defeated the Ohio Wesleyan Battling Bishops last night, 1-0. Allie Grimm scored the game's only goal to give the Tigers the win.
Riley Bjordan shut out the battling Bishops to record her third shutout of the year. She had 2 saves in last night's performance, and now the women's soccer team will head to Worcester this Saturday as well with the men's team. Their game will be starting at 3 p.m.
You know what? The women's team's been doing a great job, and they're a young team. We're going to see them make a run as well. And we're going to step away for a few minutes, but when we come back, we'll have an audio interview with DePaul wideout Andy Hunt. Stay tuned for that.
We're hanging out. Okay. Want one?
Yeah. Oh, duh.
Stop.
Cheers.
That's perfect.
Get it.
This looks so janky. For the camera.
Welcome back to Tiger Sports Nation. I'm Robert Sherman. We had the opportunity to sit down with Andy Hunt after the DePaul Tigers were able to come up with their 35-30 victory over Wittenberg this past Saturday. Andy Hunt, the team's leading receiver, with 9 catches for over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. I had the chance to catch up with him and talk about everything going on DePaul football and how he as a freshman has been able to find all the success. Here's what Andy had to say.
This is Robert Sherman for WGRE 91.5. I'm sitting down with Andy Hunt, wide receiver of the DePaul Tigers. Andy, thank you very much for joining me. The DePaul Tigers just came off a big victory over Wittenberg this past weekend on Old Gold. What's going through your mind right now, and how does the entire team feel?
We're feeling really good right now. We're on a roll, kind of getting in the swing of things, getting back, and we're just looking game by game and trying to keep our success going. And so the teams has high spirits and are looking forward for the future.
Now you get to play alongside your brother, Matt Hunt, who's a quarterback. What's that experience like?
It's been a lot of fun. It's been nice just have someone there that can help you out when you need extra help, but also if you're struggling or like not doing well in practice, someone to get on you. So it's been a really good experience and a lot of fun.
You got to really work with him this past weekend, the way that you guys took on the Wittenberg Tigers. You finished the game with 9 catches, over 200 yards, and 2 touchdowns. What was going right for you in that game?
The game before I didn't really have much success, so I don't think they expected a whole lot, but I don't know, they set me up really well for great plays and great opportunities, so I just did what I could and used my strengths to succeed.
The wide receiver position, it seems this year, has been a really wide open position. You've had Jake Hagan, who was the leading receiver last year, Connor Jeffers, a senior, Ian Good, who moved from quarterback to wide receiver this past year, not to mention Ryan Grizzard, Chase Sadler, Billy McClamrock, and Brandon Lugar, all in that mix. What's it been like working with that group of guys, and how difficult is it to try and stand out?
It's very difficult, and it's been great. I thought I was a little nervous coming in that they'd kind of pushed me away, but they really helped me out and have been willing to help me out. And so that's been a great experience. And looking at like Connor and all them who've had a lot of experience, it's really helped me and made me a better player.
You've been able to step into this role as one of Matt Hunt's favorite targets your freshman year. How has that really worked out for you? What's allowed you to get to that position?
I just working in the off season, just talking with him, seeing talking to him what he likes, like what he likes in receiver and when he likes to throw to you and like what routes and stuff, how he likes you to run the routes. So that's been a real help, and I think that's been a real advantage for me.
This Saturday, you guys are taking on Allegheny College. How does the team feel going into this game?
I think we feel really good coming off a big win. We just got to stay focused and do our job at hand and not look forward to like the next game, but take it game by game. So I think we have a really good chance, and we just got to keep doing what we're doing.
Last year, DePaul was really able to handle Allegheny very easily, winning by over 40 points last year. But this year, Allegheny's been able to play well against a couple of teams in the conference. From film, what makes them the most dangerous?
I just think they're young, they're really young, and they seem pretty athletic, so sometimes you don't know what to expect with a young team, so that's always tough. But I'll just say their athleticism and their youth could be an advantage to them.
This is Robert Sherman for WGRE 91.5 with Andy Hunt. Andy, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
Well, that's what Andy Hunt had to say for this week. And again, you can catch that interview for the pregame show on WGRE 91.5. Kickoff will be at 1 o'clock this Saturday. The DePaul Tigers hosting the Allegheny Gators. That's going to do it from our segment. Then coming up next, it'll be Julia Briggs and Ellie Locke to discuss field hockey, cross country, and volleyball. Stay tuned for that. That's Tiger Sports Nation right here on D3 TV.
Hey Tiger Sports Nation, and welcome to the third segment of tonight's show, focusing on our DePaul women in field hockey and volleyball, and then of course an update on our cross country team. I'm Julia Briggs.
And I'm Ellie Locke. First off, we'll start by looking at our women's volleyball team. who just had recently versed Woozer on October 11th. The Tigers, after dropping the first set of the NCAC match, railed to win the final 3 sets 3-1.
The Tigers improved to 13-5 overall and 3-1 in the conference, while Worcester dropped to 11-9 overall and 0-5 in the NCAC. Our key players of the match were Lauren Filatico, who paced the Tigers with 16 kills, and Elizabeth Wilson, who followed with 9 kills.
Faith Rawls, Emily Beckles, and Keely McGrath also kicked butt. Good job, ladies! The Tigers returned to action on Saturday, October 17th, when they traveled to Kenyon for a 1 p.m. match. Next up, let's talk about the girls' field hockey team. Julia?
Righto! The field hockey team took a 4-3 overtime win over Wittenberg on Saturday, with Paige Berliner scoring the game winner in overtime to give the Tigers their 3rd straight win.
DePaul took a 2-goal lead quickly in the first half thanks to goals by Revelinski and Riley Bruce. However, Wittenberg tied at 2-2 before the end of the half. DePaul, meanwhile, took 13 shots on goal against the Wittenberg goalies.
DePaul moves to 8-3 overall and 7-1 in the NCAC. Wittenberg dropped to 4-8 and 4-4 in the conference. Good job, friends, and we'll see you next at Worcester on Saturday.
Lastly, we'll give you running enthusiasts an update on our cross-country team. Paced by Polo Bugarte performance, the DePaul men's team totaled 421 points and finished 15th among 36 schools at the Greater Louisville Invite. The Tigers were 3rd among the Division III schools in the field and did an incredible job.
Yes, that's right. And DePaul head coach Corey Strofgren said, "The men continue to improve. We got a good race out of Polo, and our number 5, Brian Minks, is closing the gap on our front runners." Sounds like those guys have a fantastic season going right now, and we will wish you luck on your journey forward.
For the girls' cross-country team, they'll also be placed well at 22nd and finish among 33 schools. And 2nd in Division III field with Claudia Manette at the forefront.
Our women totaled 571 points and were just a mere 61 points behind Division III school Rhodes. Coach Strofgren says they were also without their 2 lead girls, and to see the ladies step up like that was great, and I agree. DePaul returns to action on Saturday, October 17th, when they compete in the Interregional Rumble at Oberlin.
That's all we have for now. Stay golden, sports fans, and we'll be back after the break for You Buggin'.
Wabash! Who we gonna be? Wabash! Who we gonna be? Wabash! Who we gonna be?
Wabash, right?
Whoop their asses!
Go Tigers! Woo!
DePaul believes in you.
Go to ball!
Kill Wabash!
Beat Wabash!
Go Tigers! Bring home the bell!
Beat up Wabash.
DePaul believes in you. Go Tigers. Beat Wabash.
Let's go, DePaul! Go Tigers, bring home the bell.
Woo! Go Tigers! Woo! Bell!
This weekend, show Wabash what's up. Show them that we're not a bunch of cake eaters from the South. Burst off the line like a shotgun. Go Tigers! Go Tigers!
Beat Wabash. DePaul believes in you.
Go to DePaul, beat Wabash. Woo!
Beat Wabash, take them down.
Let's go, Tigers. Let's go. Let's get that W. Beat Wabash. Let's go.
Go DePaul!
I played football 1 year. I don't know how much fun it is. Never played a big rivalry game though, so I assume that's even more fun. But it'd be a lot more fun if you won than if you lost. So win.
break. Okay. Want one?
Yeah. Oh, duh.
Stop.
Cheers.
That's perfect.
Get it.
This looks so janky. For the camera.
Welcome back to Tiger Sports Nation. My name is Michael Jennings, and this is first here on our favorite segment called You Buggin', in which I myself am currently bugging. Let me tell you why. The New York Mets are on the verge of crushing a young Jennings' dream of winning it all as an overwhelming underdog. This is obviously just a side effect of being in the moment of being on the verge of elimination. But with the series against the Dodgers is squared up at 2-2 with the fifth and final game of the NLDS to decide to move on to face the Chicago Cubs in the NLCS. Now, as I've stated many times on this show, I'm a huge Mets fan and would like nothing more than to see the Cubs and Mets face off in a 1969 Miracle Mets NLCS rematch, Black Cat and all. As I said on my other show, Beer League, with my colleague and Cubs fan friend, Jeff Collins, a Cubs-Mets NLCS would just be good for baseball, as both teams have been relative bottom dwellers for about a decade. All that being said, let me set the stage for tonight's matchup. With two legitimate aces on the bump for each team, the game is honestly a toss-up. Jacob deGrom has been sensational all season, especially in big spots, so the Mets will hope to get 7 or 8 innings out of him tonight. The problem, however, is that the Dodgers are running out an ace of their own tonight in the form of Zach Greinke. And if you followed baseball at all this season, anyone would know that he has been stingy to say the least when it comes to giving up runs to the tune of a 19-3 record and a 1.66 ERA. Good gracious, those are scary numbers for a Mets lineup that, while hot since the trade deadline, was at one point the worst in the league when it came to run production. Don't take this rant to me throwing in the towel. It's actually the opposite. I cannot wait for this game tonight. First pitch is at 8, and I'm shaking in my boots. So I guess that's why I'm not on the show. In the major leagues. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm bugging.
Now to go up to the frigid state of Michigan, the Sparty Guard may have been on watch over Michigan State's iconic Spartan statue, but that didn't stop several Michigan State University landmarks from getting hit by Michigan fans this week. Social media users have reported that vandalism to the steps of the MSU Union, where a big block M was painted along with the words, "Go Blue!" as well as graffiti to the Magic Johnson statue in front of the Breslin Center. The statue was painted yellow with an M and the words "Beat State" in yellow paint. MSU spokesperson Jason Cody said 3 areas were hit by vandals, including the Johnson statue, a brick wall behind Sparty, and a sidewalk near Munn Field. All were cleaned or are in the process of being cleaned, he said. Tracy Harris, a utility worker with MSU Landscape Services, was busy cleaning the Johnson statue this morning. "We're going to be out here for a while," Harris said as she scrubbed Magic Johnson's face with a fine toothbrush. "This isn't fandom, this is vandalism. It's a crime." The MSU vs. UM game, which is at 3:30 this Saturday at Ann Arbor's Big House, is one of the state's biggest college rivalries. The Sparty statue near Kalamazoo Street and Red Cedar Road is typically the target of Wolverine vandalism during the rivalry week and is guarded all week by the MSU Spartan Marching Band. The Sparty statue was hit earlier this year, just before MSU took on the Oregon Ducks, when someone painted it with blue and yellow paint in a block, you guessed it, M. Cody said he was not aware of any arrest in Thursday's vandalism, but the police are investigating. Not only during rivalry week, but throughout the year, these sorts of active vandalisms happen, he said. However, we honestly do not know who did it, and more importantly, we'd like to think most of the fans have a little more class than to resort to vandalism. It's not fun and games, people. It's a crime. Let's remember that as Monon comes up. It's all fun and games until you break the law. So all I gotta say for you, Michigan, is you buggin'.
Couldn't agree more, man.
I mean,
Michigan bugging like that.
It's crazy. I mean, how can you
Like, I
just
understand
destroy?
rivalries. I
But
understand
Magic
rivalries.
Johnson, though, he's a legend. He's a legend.
Let me
You can't
contrast
paint
this
all
for
over
you
his
with-
face. I mean, he's a legend.
Absolutely, absolutely.
all right.
What Ohio State does to their own campus during Ohio State Michigan week is actually hilarious. I don't know
Agreed.
if any of you know about this. They cross out every single M on campus. The letter M does not exist at Ohio State during that week. I think that's great. That's awesome. Do that to your own campus. Don't take it anywhere else. That's bugging. That's all we have for you tonight. Thanks for tuning in to Tiger Sports Nation. Hope everyone on DePaul campus has a great fall break. We will not be here next Thursday, but we will be Thursday after. Enjoy, rest, and
Stay bugging, folks.
Stay bugging.
Throwing in the towel, man. Stay bugging, my friends.